Welcome to the showdown. The rail industry has been on the edge of its C4. In this corner, straight from Germany, we have Siemens Mobility. They've got a 220 mile per hour surprise in store for their opponent. And in the other corner, straight from France, we have Alstom, who's got a quick and tilting beast waiting to be released. So, let's get ready to rumble!
The US is in the midst of a railroading revolution, one that's got a lot to do with high-speed rail, naturally meaning there's gonna be a lot of competition.
And because I guess everyone either died or got seduced by the Class 1s, the only two companies left to spearhead this revolution are Siemens and Alstom. And they're less spearheading this revolution and more spearheading each other.
So let's look at these two's offerings, see who they're going for, and see who will come out on top when all's said and done.
Siemens Mobility, also known as My Money Farm, is a subsidiary of the German technology giant known as Siemens. Siemens Mobility is based out of the US, with their only plant being in Florin, California, but they have two more on the way, with one being in North Carolina and the other, that's more important to this video, a high-speed rail dedicated one being in Horseheads, New York.
Siemens already has some insanely stable ground in the US, with them having practically a monopoly over the US light and heavy rail markets.
When it comes to high-speed rail, Siemens is offering the American Pioneer 220, a high-speed train set that is very specifically marketed to be able to climb steep grades. I wonder who that's for.
This train set also has the bonus of having a lounge, or in a certain someone's case, a party car.
This train set also has, as the name suggests, a top service speed of 220 miles per hour. This train set's exact cosmetics are still unknown as it hasn't been put out to test yet, but expected to have the standard European two-tone horn and a basic e-bell. Alstom is a French manufacturer with a main plant based out of Hornell, New York. Damn, that's getting pretty close over there, Siemens.
Outside of high-speed rail, Alstom has been nowhere near as present as Siemens in the standard rail market, with them only having a few things to show.
But when it comes to high-speed rail, Alstom has a pretty big history in the US, with them making the first high-speed train set in the US, and then coming back to make a second one. Oh god, I mentioned it.
While Alstom's run with high-speed rail in the US has been longer than Siemens, that doesn't mean it's been actually good.
Alstom's first try at high-speed rail in the US, being the Acela 1 train sets, went pretty poorly. They had weird proportions that needed to be fixed, nearly caused major accidents due to prematurely aging brake fins, and worst of all, had a little built-in fun game where there was a slight chance that the bathroom would lock you in, leaving you to having to find a way out.
And for those of you who aren't in the loop, their second try was even worse.
Alstom's second try, and the thing they're trying to market, the Avelia Liberty, is 4 years delayed, has ran into many issues with things like prematurely aging parts, and still hasn't gone into service.
This is due to Alstom rushing the design phase of these train sets, and due to the complexity of the Northeast Corridor, that very much backfired.
And just to rub salt in the wound, Siemens ACS-64 locomotives have been in service on the Northeast Corridor for over 10 years, with very few issues compared. So yeah, things aren't looking too hot for Alstom.
But now let's see who these two companies are trying to go for.
Ah yes, California High-Speed Rail, the project that seemed great, definitely should have turned out great, but was so horribly managed and planned, I don't even think there's a single person on this planet who knows when just the first phase will be complete.
But this project is far long enough that they began looking for someone to make their train sets.
Unlike someone who I swear I'll get to, the California High-Speed Rail Authority hasn't publicly made a choice or even a narrowing down on who they're trying to go for, but chances are at some point it will be between Siemens and Alstom. The California High-Speed Rail Authority will most likely be looking for a train set that can reach 220 miles per hour, the project top speed, is new and modern, and can fit some of their really really weird ideas for train cars. Alstom and their train set can reach 220 miles per hour in a modified version that they have stated they can do. It looks like a shoe, aka modern enough for this generation, but I don't know about fitting whatever the hell that is in one of these tiny cars. Siemens and their train set can reach 220 miles per hour out the box. It looks like a duck, so once again, definitely modern enough, and considering the party car that I swear I'll get to, it can definitely accommodate this thing. So it seems like it could really go either way, but in recent California high-speed rail renders, the trains shown are made by Siemens, specifically their Velario train sets that are used across the world. So while it very much could go either way, it seems like Siemens will be the ones to provide this train set when the time comes at some point. I'd also like to mention that it seems like California High-Speed Rail and Brightline West, along with that weird middle project called the High Desert Corridor, are all going to be wanting to choose similar train sets for compatibility and etc. So that will play into this a high amount. See, I told you we'd get to them.
Brightline West is a privately owned high-speed rail project planning to run from the Inland Empire to Las Vegas via the I-15 freeway.
Unlike California High-Speed Rail, Brightline West is looking to complete pretty damn close to their proposed date of 2028, and have planned their project in a way that actually makes me believe that. Brightline is looking for a train set that can reach 186 miles per hour and can climb steep grades. Alstom's train set can for sure reach 186 miles per hour, but Alstom never said anything about the grades it could handle, and that's kind of important considering how this route has a max grade of 6%, aka the steepest high-speed rail grade in the world. So yeah, pretty damn important. Siemens train set can also for sure reach 186 miles per hour, and Siemens has said multiple times that yes, this train set can in fact handle the monstrous 6% grades. The AP220 also has the bonus of a party car and batteries that, in the case of a power outage or a breakdown, can keep the train running for 9 miles and can keep the train power and air conditioning running for up to 2 hours.
Now that I've told you that, it's time for me to tell you that no, none of that actually mattered because Brightline has already for certain chosen Siemens, no matter what happens.
Despite Alstom's best efforts in trying to stop them, Brightline is for sure choosing Siemens for this project. In fact, they're so far along with Siemens that they're even planning on them being the ones to handle track maintenance once the whole thing is up and running. This also comes on top of the fact that Brightline already has a very strong relationship with Siemens for their Florida service, which is done famously extremely well in one of the most car-centric states out there.
So, for now, it looks like Siemens is set to kick Alstom's butt when it comes to high-speed rail bids in the US, leaving Siemens with an even bigger monopoly over the US rail market.
But hey, there's always Texas Central, now managed by Amtrak. The same people who have to deal with this Avalia mess. Yeah, I hate to tell you, Alstom, but you may have to stick with puppeting Bombardier for now.